Welcome to the Olympus Report, Demigods, Monsters, and Gods Alike. Strap in, Half-Bloods. We're setting sail for the Sea of Monsters. There is so much content to talk about, Half-Bloods, and I'm going to do my best to break it all down for you. First off, we finally have a full-length trailer. But besides just that, we also have new stills, potential casting information, leaks, and other information to talk about. First off, Season 2 will be longer than Season 1. A source confirmed that Season 2 episodes will run longer than Season 1 episodes. And I think this is in thanks to feedback from Season 1 and also the bigger budget in Season 2. But that's not all the new information we got. Disney has announced that much like Season 1, on December 10th, Episode 1 and Episode 2 will premiere. Meaning we have double the Percy to watch. And I have double the work to do that night. But now let's talk about the trailer because, oh my gods, Half-Bloods, that bigger budget that I talked about definitely shows. So let's take a look at it and break it down. We start off with Percy, maybe in Cabin 3, maybe in the big house, saying this.
You guys get nightmares, right? I usually get ones that tell me the future.
And as promised to longtime viewer, Devin Moran, I can't forget to mention just how soothing Percy's voice is. And I can't wait to listen to him for a whole nother season. This opening remark by Percy is such a perfect introduction to Season 2 because dreams and nightmares play such a role in this story. I also love how Percy is once again narrating to us, tying it back to how Season 1 started. Percy saying he didn't want to be a demigod. I think these are perfect references and callbacks to the books. As we'll see in the next sequence, not only is Percy having dreams of Grover, but Annabeth is having dreams of camp. And I think dreams are going to play an even bigger role in the season than they did in the book. We then cut to Percy, I believe, in the hills of Camp Half-Blood. And this show does such a good job of paying attention to detail. They could have put him in any color hoodie, but they put him in blue. And that's 100% a reference. Under this shot, we can also hear Grover saying, Percy.
Percy.
Hinting at the empathy link that they're going to develop in this season, and how Grover reaches out for help. We then cut to Grover being attacked by a horrifying sea monster. And like I said before, holy budget. This just looks so good. We really didn't see all that much of Grover's quest in the book, so I'm all for adding more of Grover to the show. We then cut to Percy being attacked by the Listagonian giant, trying to kill Percy, which is then match cut with Luke trying to kill Percy. One from the beginning of the season and one from the end of the season, showing us that someone is going to be trying to kill Percy this whole season. We then cut to Percy falling out of bed, waking up from said dreams. And his room is so messy, which I think represents Percy perfectly. We then cut to Percy looking in his mirror, and he actually has a little Pegasus on his wall. Again, great attention to detail. There's several pictures in his mirror, and as we'll see later on, this one is actually Grover. Next, we cut to the Grey Sisters' taxi, with Annabeth confronting Percy about her dream. Percy says, the dream about Grover? And Annabeth says, no, the dream about camp, which is very book accurate. After Annabeth says, no, the one about camp, we cut to Camp Half-Blood, and we see everything that's going on at camp, starting with the Stamalian bird attack. The Chariot Coliseum is in shambles, all because of these demon pigeons right here. And this is absolutely horrifying. This is almost like a POV shot of the birds, making the campers look very small, showing just how truly terrifying this is. We then cut to Annabeth, I believe, witnessing the attack. We've seen this shot before, so I won't talk too much about it. We then cut to the representation of Kronos in Percy's dreams. Again, we've seen this shot before, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. We then hear Mr. D say this.
The danger the camp is under is greater than you can possibly imagine.
Under the shots of the bird attack and the giant attack on camp. Not only stating that there's danger, but showing that there's danger as well. We also see a representation of the camp barrier here. A cannonball is thrown at the barrier, and as we see, it is deflected with sparks and lightning. We then cut to Percy, Tyson, and Annabeth in the Grey Sisters' taxi. And Percy is desperately trying to figure out where Grover is. The Grey Sisters say they see all, And then Tyson brings up that they only have one eye, and the Grey sisters respond with this.
They only have one eye?
Look who's talking.
So this is potentially a slight change from the book. In the book, we didn't find out Tyson was a Cyclops until camp, but it looks like we're going to find out here a little bit earlier. Everything about these shots is incredible. Tyson looks great, the taxi looks great, the Grey sisters look amazing. We then cut to the cab speeding off down the street. And this shot right here literally looks like it was lifted from the graphic novel. Next up, we cut to Percy, Annabeth, and Tyson arriving at camp just in time to see Luke poisoning Thalia's tree. He makes a quick escape on what I 100% believe is blackjack. Percy and Annabeth discover that the tree has been poisoned, but I'm sure they're not going to have too much time to dwell on this, as the camp is under attack by the Listogonian giants, who I'm sure Luke sent. We see them attempting to break through the barrier, as Percy explains underneath that the barrier is weakening.
Luke poisoned her.
If the tree falls, the barrier falls.
We then hear Percy say, "Save Grover."
Save Grover.
As we cut to more shots of the giants, Percy and Annabeth, Luke's army invading camp, Percy, and the picture on Percy's mirror, which we can now see is, in fact, Grover. From the picture, we cut to Grover captured and tied up. A perfect juxtaposition from Happy Grover to definitely not Happy Grover. Followed by our first look at Polyphemus. And I feel like I'm going to be saying this a lot, but he literally looks like he fell out of the book. Percy then adds that they also have to save camp, and we see more shots of the attack on Camp Half-Blood. Percy, Annabeth, and Tyson fleeing and dodging cannonballs at the border of camp. We then cut to Tantalus, and I love the detail of the scratches on his face from the Stomalian birds. He says, for the key to our survival, you must quest to the Sea of Monsters, all under shots of said quest. We see Clarice aboard the SS Birmingham, Percy with Riptide, Tyson in the engine room of the SS Birmingham, and then Clarice and Annabeth aboard the Andromeda, capped off with a map of the Sea of Monsters. We get another shot of Percy in blue, and then we cut to the SS Birmingham entering the Sea of Monsters. We see Clarice, her army, Annabeth, and Percy staring up into the sky, and we get our first look at Scylla, however it's pronounced, I don't care, you know what I'm talking about, and it looks amazing. We can see here that Scylla picks up someone from the ship. I can't tell who it is, but it might be Percy, as that does happen in the book. We see Clarice firing a cannon, and a close-up of Percy's brilliant sea blue eyes, totally locked in. And then in the next segment, we get our first official look at Thalia Grace. And I'm gonna say it again, she looks like she fell out of the book. From the plaid to the leather jacket to Aegis and her spear, this is Thalia. So what is Thalia doing here? I think this is 100% a flashback. And I love that they're included. Next, we see Percy and Annabeth aboard a small sailboat, which I think is the Queen Anne's Revenge, followed by a shot of a rock creature, and then Annabeth backing up horrified. Here's my theory. I think these are the sirens, or this is Cece's Island, or it's something completely new added to the show. Either way, they look super cool. We then see two more shots of Percy, followed by Cece. We can see her attendants in the background. Could this be Hilla or Reyna? Probably not, because Rick said that they're not going to include Reyna in the season, much like how they didn't include Nico in season 1. But I do think one of these is Hilla. And then the following shot, oh my god, Half-Bloods, we finally have Guinea Pig Percy. And he is so cute. Guinea Pig Percy is followed by another look at Polyphemus, Ares and Clarice, an explosion aboard the Andromeda, which fades to a black rock lined with gold. I'm not sure what this is, but I do think it has to do with Kronos somehow. We then get two close-ups of Percy and Luke, almost as if staring each other down, where we hear Kronos say,
"You, the son of Poseidon."
Which is an interesting addition. In the book, Kronos didn't want Percy dead. He wanted Luke to still try and convince Percy to join their side. So maybe this is after Kronos realizes that Percy will never turn. Followed by Percy running through the Princess Andromeda with the fleece, Annabeth, Tyson, and Percy running through the ship, And then another look at the chariot race. And we finally get to see Tyson. I love how their shield matches their armor. Tyson takes down an Ares camper, who he promptly apologizes to. And then we see Luke's invasion on Camp Half-Blood, as Percy fights him off. However, unsuccessfully, as Percy is knocked out. And this shot right here kind of represents how I felt after watching the trailer. We then see Hermes, Sally, and Poseidon. And I love that they're including more Olympians, like we saw before Ares and now Poseidon, who weren't in the book, but I like the addition because as they established in season 1, show Poseidon definitely cares a little more than book Poseidon. So it makes sense that they would add him here. Although in the book, Percy was very resentful that Poseidon wasn't around, which added to his resentment of Tyson. So I wonder if they just got rid of this subplot all completely, which honestly I'm okay with because I didn't like Percy not liking Tyson, and is a big reason why The Sea of Monsters is my least favorite book. The trailer ends with Percy aboard the SS Birmingham facing down Scylla and Charybdis. Percy makes his way to the front of the boat, where he steels himself and rises, prepared to take on the whole ocean. Like I've said in previous videos, I love to see how much Percy has really come into being a demigod. He's not the naive kid from season 1. This is a powerful son of Poseidon. And I think this shot to end the trailer was perfect. But if a full-length trailer wasn't enough for you, we also have several stills that may reveal some potential casting information. First off, bless the gods because we have so many Perciveth stills. We have 1, 2, and 3. In this one, we can see what I believe is the Princess Andromeda in the background, and what I think is the scene right before they leave camp and they talk to Hermes. The next still is them, I believe, in the big house right after the Stamalian birds attack. We can also see Tyson in the background. They're definitely looking at something, but I can't imagine what. Any theories? Let me know down in the comments. Next up is a shot of them in their Camp Half-Blood shirts in the Chariot Coliseum staring at the sky. Now, I don't think this is the first chariot race. For one, Percy's not in a blue shirt, and they don't have their armor on. I think this is after the quest, and I think this is when Luke invades camp, a change from the book. We also have a still of Tantalus with a crossbow. I don't know why Tantalus has a crossbow, but I am interested to see this new dynamic they've added to his character. Does he turn on the camp? Does he fight for the camp? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And then, thanks to Entertainment Weekly, we get a better look at Thalia from the trailer. And like I said before, this is Thalia Grace. This is the same picture. I know we won't get much Thalia this season, as she'll mostly be in flashbacks, but I cannot wait. Thalia is such a cool character, and Tamara Smart is doing a great job bringing her to life. And I've only seen like 3 seconds. Next is a still of Annabeth, Percy, and Tyson. And I am just obsessed with how Tyson looks in this show. I cannot say it enough, but it literally looks like he fell out of the pages. His eye looks so good. And by good, I mean bad. He looks really ugly, but he's supposed to look ugly. I think this takes place after this still. I think this is them heading to the Princess Andromeda, because this definitely looks like the shores of Camp Half-Blood in the back. But that raises the question, where's the hippocampi? Did they get cut? I sure hope not. And then our heroes actually make it to the Princess Andromeda. And I am just so happy it is an actual cruise ship. I cannot say that enough. How far we've come. And Luke just looks so fancy and evil in his white sweater. Now, something I have noticed is that Percy, Annabeth, and Tyson leave for the quest in their Camp Half-Blood shirts, but later on in the quest, they're in different outfits. So I'm curious to see when they change. Next, we have a shot of Annabeth, Percy, and Tyson aboard the Princess Andromeda. We've actually seen this still before, but now it's expanded, and we can also see Tyson, and who I believe is the new character that's not in the book, Allison. And I am just obsessed with the Princess Andromeda. This ship is so cool. But what if I said I could bring this still to life? Because we have not only a picture of this scene, but a mini video. So let's take a look. We have who I believe is Allison and Chris charging our heroes, holding them hostage. Now, remember how I said earlier that they start the quest in their Camp Half-Blood shirts and then change somewhere along the lines? Well, as we saw from this still, the first time they enter the Princess Andromeda, they're in camp shirts. So I don't think this scene is actually from then. I think this is after they retrieve the Golden Fleece. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know down below. We also get a solo shot of the new character I mentioned before, Allison. She's a part of Luke's army, and she's been seen with a bow. We don't know too much about her, but I'm gonna make a guess and say maybe she's a child of Apollo. And I think Luke has tasked her with hunting down Grover. I said this way back when season 2 was announced, but I like the addition of this character. We get to see more from the side of the demigods of Luke's army and why they made the choices that they did. And I'm excited to see this brought to life. Next is a still of Tyson holding a flaming ball. I don't think this is from the beginning of the show. I think this is actually aboard the SS Bringingham. I think this might be right before the ship explodes. And I believe these people in the background are part of Clarice's undead army. Next up, my favorite still, a shot of the Poseidon brothers. We've seen Percy in his armor before, but this is the first time we get to see Tyson. All I can say here is pure perfection. The shot, the costumes, the casting, I'm obsessed with it all. And I do like how there is slight differences between Tyson's helmet and Percy's helmet. Next up, we have a shot of the Hephaestus campers. And here's where I think we may have potentially been given new casting information. Is this Beckendorf? It sure as heck looks like Beckendorf. What do you guys think? Even if it's not, I love the design of the Hephaestus armor. From the gears on their chest plate to the goggles attached to their helmets. Although one thing I will point out is this is definitely a real horse, and I believe in the book they were supposed to have mechanical horses. But the Hephaestus children isn't the only children of the gods we're getting a look at. We also have some Hermes campers. And again, their armor is designed to reflect their godly parent. We have 2 snakes for Hermes Caduceus, and also wings sprouting from their helmets, representing the wings that are on Hermes' sandals. Could either of these campers be Connor or Travis Stoll? What do you guys think? But if that wasn't enough chariot race for you, how about another look at Annabeth and the Athena kids? I love how serious they look all the time. And I'm not sure what this tent is in the background, but it looks like there's things on shelves, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say maybe this is the camp store. I've also heard rumors that episode 1 of season 2 has leaked online, but I'm not going to be covering that or even showing that on my channel because 1, it's disrespectful to everyone who worked on the show, but also I just want to be surprised when season 2 comes out. But for right now, I think this video is quite long enough, so that's all I have for you, Half-Bloods. I'll be signing off, and please, as always, stay safe.